Hello, in this video, we're going to be looking at the second half of lesson 10.6, and this is going to cover how to find the surface area of a cone. The day 1 video goes over how to find the surface area of pyramids. To calculate the surface area of a cone, you need the lateral area of the cone plus the area of the base. Well, to calculate the lateral area, you'll use the formula lateral area equals pi r L, where r is the radius of the cone and L is the slant height. So in our picture here, the slant height, it's kind of like the slant height of the pyramid that we talked about. It's this piece right here. The height of the cone is going to be that distance from the vertex to the center of the base. We don't need the height for surface area, but we'll use that in the next lesson when we find the volume. Once you've calculated the lateral area of the cone, the lateral area is the curved surface that wraps around the cone. Well, for the surface area, we just need to add back in the area of the base. And the area of the base here is a circle. So the surface area will be equal to the lateral area plus the area of that circular base, and the area of a circle is always pi r squared. So we'll take the lateral area plus pi r squared, where r is the radius. Another way you can write this, you can actually do it all in one if you just want the surface area, is you can do pi r L plus pi r squared. So that just replaces the LA with the formula for lateral area. And using these formulas, we'll be able to find the surface area of any cone. So here's an example. Notice in the diagram that the radius of the cone is 4 and the slant height is 7. So to calculate the lateral area is equal to pi times r times L. And we're going to leave our answers in terms of pi. So I'm going to take pi times 4 times 7. And we'll keep the pi in our answer, so when you do your calculations, you'll just take 4 times 7, and then you'll put the pi at the end. So that ends up being 28 pi. Now, if we wanted the decimal approximation, we could use the pi button on our calculator, but I'm going to keep my answers exact. So here I have 28 pi is the exact lateral area. Now we can get the surface area. The surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the circular base, which is pi r squared. So let's take 28 pi, and then we'll add pi times r squared, and r is 4. Well, you want to square the 4 first. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. So that's 16 pi. And then you can add the 16 pi with the 28 pi. These are like terms because they both have pi's in them. So just add 28 plus 16, and that's 44. So our surface area will be 44 pi. And it's an area, so I still need that unit. It would be centimeters squared. Here's another example. Notice that in this problem, we actually do not have the slant height. So you have to be careful when you're doing the surface area, you need the slant height. And here we have the actual height. We also have the diameter is 18. See how it goes all the way across the circle? We need the radius. So the first thing I'm going to do to find the radius is just take half the diameter. So take 18, divide by 2, that's 9. So r is equal to 9, and this is 12. Well, if you look at that right triangle that I've outlined in purple, we can actually use the Pythagorean theorem there to calculate the length of the slant height. Remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and c is the hypotenuse, which is across from the 90. So c is our slant height. Let's take 12 squared plus 9 squared, and that'll equal c squared, or L squared. So 144 plus 81, add those up, that's 225. And then we have to undo the squared by taking a square root of each side. So that would be 15. So now that we have everything, we have R, we have L, we are ready to find our lateral area. The lateral area of a cone is pi times the radius times the slant height. So we need pi times 9 times 15. And you can take 9 times 15, leave the pi in your answer. 9 times 15 is 135. Put the pi at the end. So our lateral area is 135 pi square inches. Now let's find the surface area. The surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the circular base, pi r squared. So let's sub in our 135 pi, and then we'll add in pi times 9 squared. R is 9. 9 squared is 81. So we need 135 pi plus 81 pi. Those are like terms, so you can add them up. Those two numbers add to 216. So that makes the surface area 216 pi square inches. Here's one more example. This problem is similar to the last problem in that it's actually missing the slant height. See how the slant height should be this value right here? You'll have to do the Pythagorean theorem quick to find the slant height, and then you'll be able to calculate the lateral area and the surface area. Why don't you try this problem on your own? Please pause the video now and give that problem a try. Okay, here is your solution for the lateral area. You should have found that the slant height was 17 when you do your Pythagorean theorem. And then pi times 8 times 17 is 136 pi. For surface area, just add pi r squared, the area of the circular base, and you'll end up with 200 pi square yards. Here's a quick additional example that you should add to your notes. In class, we went over this problem on the whiteboards. Let's find the surface area of a cone with a slant height of 20, whose base has a circumference of 32 pi. So here, I'm giving you the slant height. So that's the L equals 20, but I don't have the radius. I have the circumference of the base. So the circumference is 32 pi centimeters. Well, we actually need to use the circumference formula in order to calculate the radius. So going back to things that we've done previously in this class, you can calculate the circumference of a circle by taking 2 times pi times the radius. Here we can sub in the circumference of 32 pi, and that's going to equal 2 pi r. Well, we need r by itself, so let's divide both sides by 2 pi. And when you divide by pi here, the pi's cancel. So on this side, it's just 32 divided by 2, which is 16. So the radius is 16. We use the circumference to find the radius. Now we have the radius of 16. We have the slant height of 20. Now we have everything we need to calculate the surface area. I'm going to do the lateral area first. LA is pi RL. And here, that's pi times 16 times 20. Multiply 16 times 20 and you have 320. So we have 320 pi for the lateral area. Now let's get the surface area. Surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the base, pi r squared. So that's 320 pi plus pi times 16 squared. You can square 16 on your calculator, and when you do that, it is 256. So I need to take 320 pi plus 256 pi, and when you add those up, they're like terms here, that would be 576 pi. So my surface area of the cone is 576 pi square centimeters. So this problem is not in your note packet. You can add it to the additional example section at the end of 10.6. Thanks for watching, and good luck as you practice some cones on your own. Bye.